This past weekend, Wonder Woman was released on DVD and Blu ray and digital download after its extremely successful theatrical run this past summer. Wonder Woman it had a $100 million opening weekend, which was above a lot of people's expectations, and it made $411, I think total $411 million domestically, which was huge, and about 816 or 811 globally, which was more than a lot of people were expecting from this movie. And it was just what the DCEU needed after after two really, really critical failures, not financial failures, but critical failures in BVS and Suicide Squad. Wonder Woman knocked it out of the park both critically and financially. And it was great, both for Wonder Woman, the character herself, for women in movies, and for the DCEU. And as a DCEU fan and a Wonder Woman fan, I'm happy. But a lot of the media reporting on Wonder Woman was very interesting because a lot of people said that Wonder Woman was like hopeful and bright and light movie that DC had made, etc., 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 or the first fun movie and all that kind of stuff. And although I like Wonder Woman and I think there is an element of hope, I don't agree that it was light or fun or, a fluffy movie at all. I mean, for people who are kind of suggesting that, because if you were to watch Wonder Woman and, actually look at what was happening in that movie and what the characters are going through, there was some pretty heavy stuff in that film. And I want to talk about some of those. I felt like it addressed some pretty, traumatic and hardcore issues. And we can start with the main character herself. Like, Wonder Woman killed German soldiers in that movie, multiple German soldiers. And that's pretty hardcore, especially when other DC heroes like Superman and Batman, when they killed people in their movies, people were upset. A lot of fans were incredibly unhappy with that. When Superman snapped General Zod's neck in Man of Steel, people threw a fit. And when Batman, killed a lot of thugs in Batman vs. Superman, people didn't like that either. But Wonder Woman kills soldiers and nobody complains at all. Nobody bats an eyelash. She wants to go kill Ares, and she kills the guy whom she thinks is Ares, General Ludendorff, and that was that. That's not light and fun entertainment. That's hardcore, Wonder Woman took people down in that movie. For real. Permanently. And that's not light to me. And if you look at some of the other things going on in the movie, there were soldiers in that film that, had their limbs blown off, that were suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And if you know anything about post-traumatic stress disorder from war situations, soldiers live with that, a lot of them, for the rest of their lives. And some of them, they actually take their own lives because they can't deal with the stress. Even when they're back in civilian life, the relative calmness of civilian life, which is different from the war, they still, are suffering. The war is still in their head, and it's still, the emotional and psychological turmoil is still there. And Wonder Woman, with the one friend that she had, I forgot his name, the character, but one of her soldiers, the one who was a singer and who was a sniper and who couldn't shoot, that was his issue, post-traumatic stress disorder. The other guy, there were two other guys. The Native American gentleman, he referred to the genocide that Native Americans face in America at the hands, of white, settlers, or white, I guess, invaders in this case. He referenced that. And then the other character, I forgot his name, but I think he was Middle Eastern, and he talked about how he wanted to be an actor, but he was the wrong color. Because back then, the movie took place, I think, in 1918 or the 1920s, World War I specifically. And if you think things are bad for actors of color now, they were really bad, back in those days. I mean, no one was really pushing for diversity back then. So if you were a talented actor who was darker skinned, you had it rough in most cases. And the movie addressed that. It touched on them lightly. I mean, they didn't go into like the post-traumatic stress disorder or the racism or the Native American genocide in depth. I will admit that. But it was addressed. And, those issues right there that I just mentioned, I felt that Wonder Woman went to places that, a light and fun movie wouldn't go to. And by the end of the movie, Wonder Woman came this close to losing her cool and, losing faith in humanity and just out and out slaughtering people. She was about to, kill Dr. Poison, crush her with a tank. And she had to realize that, human beings are worth it. There's love and compassion. There's a good side to them. And that triggered her own love and compassion. And she realized that humanity was worth saving. But she came this close to just totally unleashing her fury and just laying waste to all kinds of people or just giving up. That's not light and disposable entertainment. That is deep stuff for a PG-13 movie. And that's why I kind of take issue with people who act like Wonder Woman, the movie, was, fun and light. I do think it was good, and there was definitely an adventurous, fun tone to it, but there was a lot more to it than that. And then, of course, there's feminism with pretty much all the women in the movie, Wonder Woman and the Amazons being very, strong and competent characters, especially Wonder Woman herself, and how she was able to be strong and also retain her femininity. She wasn't like a man with boobs, basically, in her thinking and the way she saw the world. The movie they took care to make her very feminine and also very competent and confident. And it was very empowering for a lot of women in the audience to see that in the movie. And to see in the beginning all of the Amazons being very strong and capable and competent. And that was important too. And that alone, because Wonder Woman was such an important movie for a lot of female viewers, I think elevates it to a level where it's not just this light movie you can dismiss so easily or so quickly. And I just wanted to make this video to talk about those things because although I think there is an element of hope in Wonder Woman, she does, find her compassion and her love and, want to believe in the best and does believe in the best by the end of the movie in people and in the world. And there is definitely a theme of hope and coming out okay and surviving in the movie. But there were a lot of other things in that movie. That movie definitely touched on the darkness. And for that reason, I think that Wonder Woman is more special and deeper than maybe a lot of people noticed or wanted to give it credit for. And I just wanted to talk about that real quick. And thank you for watching. I hope I didn't make this video too long. I was trying to get this issue relatively quick, but we'll see when I'm editing it, but how long I actually spent, running my mouth about it. But if you want to watch me make more videos about DC movies and TV shows and comics and all that good stuff, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and you have a nice day or night. Bye-bye.